Hi, I'm Cherie Krim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I'm running because I love our city. I have the experience and dedication to make a difference here. I believe our government should listen to and work for its people. I will be focusing on our community, our environment, and I will always be an advocate for transparency. On April 21st, vote for me, Cherie. My name is Cherie Krim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I approve this advertisement.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday here in Bay County. It is so awesome every time I see the commercial. It is quite a fun time to think about. We are there again, and we're going to look at some of those candidates tonight who are running. We'll even go look at a Facebook page because there's not so much goodness going on Jeff McConnell's page. But, you know, when you're not good to the public, things just treating people with kindness and dignity and respect is very important. So welcome. I want to thank you, everyone who has been sending in comments and emails. You know, Bay County is a very wonderful place to live. And Bay County also has a lot of propaganda and misinformation. And it's something that we have to make sure that the truth is out there. And I think talking about values and talking about what truly matters is where and how we get through all of this. You know, when you live somewhere that people believe that women don't have their own bodily autonomy, where LGBTQ people, there shouldn't be diversity training, which that just blows my mind that we even want to think that way, right? That we don't need diversity and inclusion training and equity training. Exactly why we do need it, because we think we don't, but that's a whole nother issue there. But what gets me is that the way that things come across, especially with some of the bills that happened this year. And I want to start with that because honestly, we know we have bad bills, right? And we know DeSantis is putting them into law. We understand this, right? And it's kind of funny because the main talking point on the Don't Say Gay bill is it doesn't actually say that. And it's kind of funny when I hear people say that, like Ron DeSantis or other people who are running, like Brian Cloudis, that the bill doesn't even say that. You guys don't understand. Let's be clear. The bill is under interpretation, and there are going to be some things that are going to happen with this bill that we're not going to expect. And one of those is that you basically don't want anyone to discuss anything about LGBTQ from pre-K to third grade, right? So what does that truly mean? Does that mean I can't talk about my spouse? Does that mean if I'm married to, if I'm a man married to another man or a woman married to another woman, anybody married, does that mean I can't talk about my spouse? Because really, that's part of it, right? And what about, wow, can I even have a picture of my spouse? Because then if I have to explain it. So I thought we'd actually look at the bill tonight so that way we all know what it says. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share the file here on the House Bill 1557. All righty. So everybody can see that. I am here trying to make sure I'm going to pull it fully up on the screen for you. All right. So when you look and you pull up these bills, you guys can see it's at the floridasenate.gov, and you can pull up these bills. Now, the key is here that the words parental rights and education was used, because here's the thing. Requires district school boards to adopt procedures that comport with certain provisions of law for notifying students, parents of specified information. You see how little, and read through that. So let's go to the bill text. Read the bill text, right? We can absolutely just read through the first part, right? Permitting, blah, blah, blah. And then you get right here. Where? This is like the biggest long run-on sentence that has ever been done, but that's how we do things, right? Requiring such procedures to reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children in a specified manner. Prohibiting the procedures from prohibiting a parent from accessing certain records, providing construction, prohibiting a school district from adopting procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about specific manner, prohibiting procedures from accessing certain records, notifying specific information, encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold, prohibiting school district personnel from discouraging or prohibiting parental notification involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's wellness, emotional or physical well-being, providing construction, prohibiting classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in certain grade levels or in a specified manner, requiring certain training developed or provided by a school district to adhere to the standards. Like, you can keep going on and on with this, right? And when you look at it, let's be clear. It doesn't say you can't say the word gay. That's true. But the way the bill is worded, it does. And I apologize. Apparently you guys were not able to see that other screen that I was meaning to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that up because it opened a new tab on me. So it actually wasn't there for you guys to see what I was reading here with this awesome bill. So, looking at this bill, right? I mean, providing consent, all of this. I get it. People do not want people to talk about LGBTQ in schools. That is what this is doing. Now, as you go down that age appropriate, right? So I'm just going to pull right here. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 in a manner that is not age appropriate, blah, 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 according with standards. Before administering, at minimum, the procedure must require within 30 days. I mean, you can keep going down this. And when you look at it and you read into it, the words are what is going to make the difference. Because and you go down this path, classroom instruction. What does instruction mean? Does it mean something in one way versus another? We don't know how this bill, once it goes through, will be interpreted. But we guarantee you, if somebody is talking about LGBTQ and in the school, that absolutely a parent is going to go out after them, right? And if this was really about parental rights in education and really about what we were teaching the students from K to third grade, why wouldn't we have things in there like, we're not going to teach you about marriage? No, just LGBTQ, right? Because we want them to learn about marriage, and you're supposed to be a woman with man and a man with woman, and the man is superior. Absolutely. That is absolutely how they want things to go. But this is all just going to backfire. People see the hate with these bills here in Florida, and the voters see it. And honestly, it's going to come down to, every time I say this, it's values. What are our values? And I came up with the statement today. I look here, and every darn Republican says they stand for freedom. Well, if you stand for freedom, why are you voting and wanting laws that are going to take away rights from people? That's part of freedom. My bodily autonomy is the same as your bodily autonomy, and you don't have a right to tell me what to do with mine. But yet, somehow, and I love it, I'm going to bring back my awesome thing, because, if you haven't seen this yet, the enormous amount of white men that are part of all of this, that have created these rules, white men, Republicans, that is where this is coming from. Why? It's a loss of power, loss of control. There's lots of reasons that we can think about it, right? Now, go scroll on TikTok, go look at some of the Don't Say Gay. You can find some of the most stupid, and I mean ridiculous things that some of the legislators said, right, about this. bill when they were debating it. And they knew what they were doing. They were debating it in the way that they were so that they could get away with it. Absolutely, that's what happened. So I went and pulled up the News Herald today, and that's always a fun, exciting time. And there were some great op-eds, so we're going to go over there now because we talked about the bad bills, but let's see what the newspaper and people in our area feel about what's going on. So let's go, News Herald. Yay! As you guys can see, I am here on the News Herald website. I'm going to pull it totally up. And you will see very quickly, I'm on Sunday, and I'm just going to go over to the viewpoint. And there we go. All right, first article, first editorial. Florida remains the petri dish of right-wing policies. Another session of the Florida legislature is in the books, and once again, the state lived up to its reputation as a petri dish of hard right politics. Not since the era of One Florida and the A-plus plan have so many wedge issues threatened to become law. Sure, the 60-day session provided election year goodies to a wide range of constituents, including state employees and public schools. Floridians should expect some benefits with a $112 billion budget infused with massive federal funding. Federal funding? That's our tax dollars, right? Federal funding. So, yeah, as we go down, legislation is to address the state's property insurance crisis and is set to statewide standards for high-rise condo buildings after a deadly collapse in Surfside failed to make the cut. So if we cared about really, truly what was going on, would we care about what happened in Surfside and condos? Should we care about the rise in insurance costs? I think we should. And those were bills that were not brought up and not taken in. And that right there, that's what's happening. So as you go down, and of course, housing prices, outrageous rent increases will also have to wait until next year because this is a wonderful election year. However, it's the partisan politics that will reverberate throughout the upcoming elections and beyond that remain the big winner here. Governor Ron DeSantis and his allies achieved most of their priorities and will have an array of legislative victories to fire up his party's base. Some run counter to previous Republican ideologies. Others are borderline nonsensical. Several, including the governor's opposition to the redistricting of a Black congressional district in North Florida, will wind up in court. Have you heard about this one yet? Really, DeSantis? Literally, he wants to take away, and it is a redistricting of a Black congressional district. Why? Why would you want to do that when it's following the rules? Because you're worried about Black people voting? Why? It doesn't make one bit of sense. But I guess it does if you are Ron DeSantis. So keep going. Floridians should pay closer attention to what occurs during a legislative session in Tallahassee and hold their representatives and senators accountable once they return home and ask for votes on election day. Here are 10 reasons why HB 5, SB 146, reducing fetal and infant mortality. The bill limits abortions to the first 15 weeks of pregnancy and will be law if, as expected, the U.S. Supreme Court strikes down Roe versus Wade, which says undue restrictions on abortion are unconstitutional. SB 7, 148, individual freedom. This bill sets new standards of discrimination for classroom discussion. And I don't know where it went. I apologize. So apparently News Herald is wanting to pop up and go to a different tab. I'm not sure why, so I apologize on that. But you keep going down and it talks about all of the different bills that absolutely were just, there's no reason for them. Why, when we could put bills in place that would help, right, us with, say, higher rent, higher insurance, condo regulations, so a collapse doesn't happen. But instead, we got a 15-week abortion ban without, and let's be clear, it doesn't have anything in there for human trafficking, incest, or rape. That should matter. We should pay attention to that. How we treat women is very important. And when we don't even think that you deserve the right to have an abortion when your dad raped you, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with anybody thinking that that's okay? We would rather put that woman through that trauma, and that is not okay. So the lovely News Herald had many other articles in here as well. And one of them, and I was going to read it, was from George Gaynor. And looking at that, and I'm going to go back to Sunday and see if it'll let me pull it back up and get it. But it's funny, right? So on one side, you see the article about all the bad bills. But let's go see how George Gaynor seems to think about it, what he put out in our lovely News Herald. So as George Gaynor goes and says, Bay County hits a home run. Did we? The 2022 balanced state budget makes historic investments in education, our environment, and public safety. Wow. Okay. That's okay. We want to talk about that. That's good. All right, let's go. Historic increase in per student funding and increased pay for corrections, probation, and juvenile detentions. As a result, Florida families will receive $1.1 billion in broad-based tax relief over 2 years. Several tax holidays and long-served sales tax relief will help Floridians save money. That's how they think we want to save money? They think we want to save money on tax-free holidays? How about that? No. How about you start giving the money that we should have and expanding Medicare the way that it should be? But hey, let's keep going. So as the budget will provide more than $350 million for affordable housing, with $100 million to focus on down payment assistance for our hometown heroes, our teachers, healthcare workers, law enforcement, and others. More than $130 million in funding was secured that would directly impact our district. With the leadership of Ron DeSantis, oh my God, gotta love it. Key accomplishments. This session, accomplishments, reform, Senate 30 expands benefits for foster parents, supporting local Florida businesses. The Local Business Protection Act creates a process which can be established. Businesses can recover losses caused by new ordinances opposed by local governments. Hey, have we talked about how Ron DeSantis has really complicated small businesses, especially the online ones, because we used to not have to do the sales tax. It was an amazing thing for us. And now we have to actually give the sales tax. It was a great thing we had here, and yet that was taken away. So really, this is how we want this to be. All right. Affordable housing for military first responders, House Bill 1. Here we go. Increasing protections for unborn children, taking into account modern medical and scientific knowledge. What? Scientific knowledge that confirms significant developmental milestones of an unborn child. House Bill 5 prohibits abortion after the unborn baby has reached 15 weeks of gestational age. Then bolstering election integrity. I thought Florida had no election problems. I think that's what our governor said. We had safe. And I know here in Bay County, Mark Anderson will tell you we have safe. So bolstering election integrity to ensure Florida remains a national model for free and fair elections, which is a lie. We established a clear framework. Free and fair. Did you know in 2018, we voted on restoring rights to vote for people? And do you know what has happened since then for convicted ex-felons? Do you know what's happened since then? They have made it more than difficult. What do you free, fair, balanced lies of everything? Bay County projects allure. Oh my God, we're getting a jail bed expansion. Really? That's what we want to worry about? Okay, I'll take some water improvements. That's really good. Some fire and emergency medical, sewer, water system, Culinary Institute and Power Cafe. That's really awesome. All of this great money. Life Management Center. Thank you for getting money for that. Getting a new Fire Station 32. Beach septic system. Wow. Lynn Haven wastewater plant. I am confident our best days are ahead. I'm confident that you have somebody who's running against you, George Gaynor, and we're going to talk about that as we go on. So, thank you, News Herald, for giving different views and showing people that one way versus the other isn't correct. And it comes back down to values. Back to that. And our community, our community, our environment, what we live in here, our conservation of what we have here is important. And it's amazing that way. So, all right, we haven't gone to Neil Dunn. So we're going to go see what Neil Dunn and propaganda this week is going to happen, because there's always a fun video every few weeks from Neil Dunn that I find. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to share, and I'm going to pull him up and we're going to start watching.
Here's the truth about Biden's energy crisis. Many of you have heard the administration refer to our outrageous gas prices as Putin's price hike. This is false. Gas prices skyrocketed during the Biden administration long before Putin invaded Ukraine and the administration made the decision to cut off Russian imports. During the Biden administration, average gas prices increased over $1 a gallon before Russia invaded Ukraine. Prices started increasing after Biden canceled the Keystone Pipeline, stopped all new oil and gas leases for drilling, and
I just have to stop right here. Keystone Pipeline. Do you know that was to move Canadian oil? And then what was the other little lie that he just, I love going back here. And what was the other thing he said? Let's see.
canceled the Keystone Pipeline, stopped all new oil and gas leases for drilling.
Stopped new. What? Do you know how many are out there that they have that they're not using? That is where the information is. Why? Neil Dunn, come on. This is facts and you can figure this out and you know you're lying.
And increase EPA regulations on oil and gas producers. The Biden administration has tried to place the blame on everyone but themselves, but it's their progressive policies that are driving up gas and energy prices and hurting hardworking Americans. I'm Neil Dunn.
What policies is he talking about? Thank you, Neil Dunn. My awesome elected official. So at this point, if anybody would like to run against Neil Dunn, I will be happy to help you run your campaign. I will be happy to do lots of things and share with you the information I have. But let's just go back because, again, it's not just me, but we see here you were unable to recognize the truth when Trump was in office. Hard to believe you developed the ability now. You wouldn't see the truth if it hit you in the face. So far, Republican, a gray line with double talk. They sure not love their country. Next time you have a thought, just let it go. Energy poverty is a national security issue that needs to be addressed immediately. Did you know about storms? So true, Mr. Neil Dunn. Thank you. You're nothing but a destructive partisan demagogue. Neil, here's your truth. A bunch of slanted partisan lies and demagoguery. You give no acknowledgement of the continuing effort. Oh my God. So you can keep going, right? Again, wow. There you go. I contacted your office many times concerning the needs of American trucker. There are a lot of truckers, which I think you are supposed to be representing. There's also a truckers convoy that's happening. And just like there's also a truckers convoy that's happening. And just like your office being ignored by many politicians and media, there are many of us in Bay County who believe in politicians and media believe, oh my God, over and over again. Why should we listen to you about Trump, which were lies? You never stop lying. Gotta love it. Thank you, Neil Dunn. You don't disappoint. All righty. League of Women Voters is having candidate forums, y'all. And this is awesome, awesome news. So next Monday at 6 p.m. is going to be the one over on this side of the bridge. I want to say it's Parker, Callaway, Springfield, Mexico Beach. And that will be over at Rutherford High School at 6 p.m. next Monday. And then next Tuesday is Panama City Beach. And right there, that's going to be fun. That's over at Arnold High School. And I know exactly where I'll be on both of those because learning the candidates and knowing what's going on is a fun type thing. And we are here. So let's go see who those candidates are and go down there. So we're going to share the screen and let's go find the candidates that are running. And if you guys don't know how to do this by now, I think I've showed you a couple times, but we've got current candidates in finances. And you go down to your election. And right now we're just doing the Super Tuesday election. All right. So in Callaway, we do have one race that has two competitors. Then we have Mexico Beach. Yes, those are all got competitors there. And then I said Parker too, but apparently Parker doesn't. I apologize about that. Springfield Mayor has that, but the other two went unopposed. So we've got a few here. So Springfield, Mexico Beach, and Callaway. And then over in Panama City Beach, we have Mary Coburn, Jeff McConnell, Paul Casto, and Mark Mead. And there you go. Now, going back to Paul Casto, I looked at this the last time, and I was going to say, I think I already knew, or is this, yeah, this, nothing new is on this one, you know, where he's getting his money and where he's spending it. So there you go. If anybody wanted to know who's running Paul Casto's campaign, that is Arthur Cullen. There's Arthur getting consulting services of more than $4,000 there. We got stamps. Okay, how many? Okay, LAT3 Strategic Partners, American Charlie was a fundraising dinner. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Paul Casto, for doing that. Let's go see. Over here, I don't think Mark Mead he's spent $1,000 so far, but he didn't have near the money you do, and he didn't spend a lot in the last one. He bought some office supplies. So super voting list printing. Gotta love what we're doing. This is amazing. So that is who we have so far for that election. Now, if you go to the next election, we have some people who are starting to put their names in. We have Robert Carroll, who has put in for District 2. District 2, we've got Brenda, who is very interesting. So Brenda doesn't want to be on the school board anymore. Why'd you run in the first place? Why'd you waste our city's time and your time by getting in a position that you weren't going to keep except for a few years? Let's take positions and understand that these are public positions and really please stay in them if you're going to run, because it's ridiculous. I know her rerunning, but she's not. So there you go. But we do have Ann Leonard who's running, which is going to be, which is a brand new person. And then last time, Francis Keys Gordon ran and against Brenda and lost. So, you know, here is where we are at. So Ann Leonard does have money. So let's see, we've got $15,000 in there and a lot of it came from herself. So there you go. We've got people in here that are giving her money and not much has been spent out yet, but that's a good thing. So locally, we got a lot going on. So let's go ahead and we are going to stop sharing that and start and go over to the race because there's somebody running against George Gaynor. And that right there should make us all just happy. All right, view the list. Here it comes. Woohoo! All right, so as we know, this hasn't changed. Matt Gase has quite a few people running against him. And Neil Dunn does have these two NPAs that filled out paperwork running against him. But I haven't seen much about it yet. So, yes. Next up, as we scroll down, we have Dr. Carolyn Zonia, who is running. And I am so excited because Dr. Carolyn Zonia is quite amazing. She will be running against George Gaynor. And I cannot tell you how awesome that is. I do know I was actually there the day that she went and told George. So, I think it's time for us to realize that here in our area, we have the richest senator in the entire state of Florida. What is he helping? What, other than taking away rights and actually making sure that we're not free, who is he? What has he done? I know. Everybody's gonna be like, I haven't been here long enough. He's such a great man. At this point, George Gaynor has been in office for a very long time. And I'll be honest, it was very interesting watching his assistant help him through the Capitol, telling him which way to turn. But it also is the truth. And George Gaynor, Carolyn Zonia this is gonna be a great campaign, and values matter, and Bay County values matter. And that's where everything is gonna change. And let me tell you, Bay County, it does matter. I appreciate everybody hanging in this evening, learning something. I hope I was able to answer questions and provide information that was going to be helpful to you. I do back again, values. What do you value? Do you value freedom? Do you value freedom? And if we value freedom, is that not freedom for all? Because if you value freedom and you're making laws to take away freedoms from other people, that's not really freedom at all. And those aren't good politicians. Those are people who want power. So I really appreciate everybody. And I look forward to talking with you guys in a couple of weeks. And oh yeah, I'm on TikTok now. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go do it, because TikTok is quite fun. And yeah, we got good stuff going on here. TikTok's amazing. So I appreciate every one of you, and everybody have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much.